PLC Network here at CES 2022. We are standing at the Samsung booth, which is always an exciting attraction at this show, and we're about to walk inside to see what's new and what's hot. Well, starting with what's behind me, the Micro LED walls are doing great this year, but of course that's for the commercial world and not so much for the consumer side. So let's go inside and take a look to see what's new for the consumer side of things this year at Samsung. So what we're doing is we're standing in front of some really interesting Micro LED TVs right here. We're with Kyle here. Kyle, I mean, these look fantastic. These are not OLED, these are Micro LED TVs. Right. And they look fantastic. I mean, even the blacks and everything, the detail is really great for a non-OLED screen.
Right.
And this is really what's causing so much, I guess, tension between companies like Samsung and LG, because now LG's having to sit there and bat their eyes at this going, oh crap, we need to step up our game now.
You're right.
So what are we looking at here in terms of what's new coming from these models?
So these models have all been announced. So we have the 110, the 99, and the 89. The benefit of these is that it isn't an organic material, so we don't have to worry about life expectancy or burn-in or even image retention or something like that. It allows us to hit a little bit higher brightness levels with the TV. Each pixel is still self-emitting, just like an OLED would do, so a little over 24 million subpixels that are all red, green, and blue dots. On top of that, as you can hear, there's a really great audio system, up to 100 watts. So really provides a great experience for the user because we can even have Dolby Atmos built into it.
Yeah, it's really loud.
Yeah.
It is really loud.
Yeah.
So how thick is that TV?
So this is just kind of like proof of concept, so I don't know if that's what the final size is going to be, but it's about an inch thick.
An inch thick. That's actually not bad, though.
No.
For a large TV like this, and especially having those kind of speakers, that much volume coming out of it.
Yes.
It's interesting how companies have been really integrating that, because there's a time there where they're kind of hitting a threshold to say,
right.
In terms of they were running out of space.
You're right.
And now with the latest sound technology, they're able to squeeze in some really nice solutions in there, despite that now, and it's changing the game everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, you take the picture quality to the next level just by the Micro LED aspect of it. And then on top of that, you add the audio effect, because really that's half the experience.
Absolutely. So just the detail quality, when I first walked up to you, I had asked, I'm like, wait, is this 8K or is it 4K? I'm like, what are we looking at here? And you're like, this is 4K. It almost gives that idea that it's just borderline 8K right there. It looks so nice right now.
Yeah, part of that's from the contrast, right? Because since we have such a great black level, such a good high brightness level, we can get a really big contrast in there. Not to mention, we're processing that at up to 20 bits, so it really does allow us to have a big grayscale in there to really produce good, accurate colors and brightness.
Perfect. Now, we don't know what the release date is on this, right?
No release date yet. We've announced the product, but no release date or a price point at this point.
So there's no price just yet, there's no release date, no information we can go off right there. However, hopefully sometime this year we'll learn more about this. Hopefully we'll see this. And when we do, we will have more information as well for you to share with you. And we'll make sure to put some of that information in the description as well, if that does come up in the near future. But Kyle, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And we look forward to seeing what else is in this awesome booth at Samsung this year.
Enjoy it.
So what we're standing in front of now is kind of a hot topic for CES this year at Samsung's booth. This is the Odyssey Ark. Now this is kind of cool. What are we looking at here? And let me just take a moment here to introduce Jonathan here. Jonathan here works for Samsung. He's a brilliant individual and a gamer himself. And he's got some of the Odyssey product line himself that he uses. But that aside, what are we looking at behind us here?
Yeah, so what you're looking at here is our Odyssey Ark. So this is something a little bit different. So as you said, our Odyssey products are amazing. They're focused purely on gaming, right? But this is something different. This is a 55-inch 4K gaming monitor, okay, with a built-in soundbar as well. You've got a Dolby Atmos soundbar built in. But we're ticking all the boxes here. So you've got 165 hertz refresh rate, you've got 4K, and you've even got a reticulating screen so it can move 90 degrees. So as you can see over here, all of a sudden you're doing things a little bit differently, and as you know, gamers, we don't just use a single app, we do a lot more than that.
Now this would be good for like Starfield type games, Star Wars, any kind of space travel game like that, especially if you can pair like 3 of these monitors up, so you get kind of a side-to-side coverage as well, plus that up and down.
Somebody give me 3 of those.
Yeah, exactly.
Even with one, you're doing things a little bit differently. So as a gaming, as you mentioned, I'm a gamer. When I'm playing my racing games, I've got other things going on at the same time. So for example, in order to talk to my buddies in England, I've got Discord running in the background. But what I really want to be able to do is see what's going on in that app. If I'm streaming, I've got YouTube or Twitch running, and what I really need to be seeing there is what's happening in the chat. And of course, if I've got them running in the background, I can't see any of that. Or if I've got separate monitors, it's a distraction from my actual game. So what we can do here is, by moving that monitor, by rotating it, you've now got, because this is a 55-inch 4K display, you have three 32-inch monitors basically stacked one above the other. And of course, with Windows 11, you can reorient the screen, so you can use those windows to use the effective space really, really well.
It's kind of nice. You could be gaming on the bottom portion. The midsection could be kind of like your analytics for the game, or your streaming, and the top one could be anything else for chat, communication, or anything else. You might want to just keep an eye on your favorite stocks while you're playing your favorite game.
Absolutely.
So this is a fantastic looking screen. I mean, for gamers, as a gamer, like we were talking a moment ago before we started recording, we ourselves at the office, we make use of a lot of the Odyssey screens. And the one I'm using, it's a 1440p one. We also have some better models that are floating around that came out like just literally a few months after I said yes to that one. And I'm kind of feeling that, sour about that now. I wish I would have gotten one of those, but this blows that away even, because we've absolutely loved those. There's a reason why they started popping up everywhere. And when this hits the market, now this doesn't have a release date, it doesn't have any price points yet. This is still in that infant stage of its, making its way out to the market. We don't know if this is going to be consumer or commercial or anything like that. So price point, I can only assume, is probably going to, it's going to be a lot more than the current Odyssey models for sure. So this is going to be for a serious gamer for
absolutely,
sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, and for sure, this is going to be a consumer device. There's no doubt about it. We currently have this issue, right, with GPUs. They're very expensive, they're very difficult to get hold of, but the technology is there. And right now, and probably most recently, 1440p has been kind of the right zone for most people.
Yes.
But with these better GPUs, we can now do 4K gaming. So a 55-inch 4K display is going to be mind-blowing for gaming.
Absolutely, and especially now that NVIDIA is getting ready to launch sometime this year, I believe the first half of this year, I think, the updated version of their RTX line as well. So that's going to really help out as well, driving some of that traffic. Hopefully, they'll make some of those cards available enough for people to get their hands on it.
Absolutely.
And then when they do, make sure to get one of these monitors, because this looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, the quality of the screen, the ability to flip it into this orientation is just, it's new. That's a good way to describe this. It's new, it's different, it's refreshing. I mean, it gives a look at, or a completely different look at what you're playing. And like you said, splitting up between screens or virtual screens on it is also a big plus. But I just like that curve going up over your head instead of just around.
It almost feels like I'm sitting in an F-16 cockpit, right? It feels amazing.
It kind of feels more like a virtual ride you're stepping into in an arcade or something, instead of just sitting down at your home gaming setup.
Totally.
So, well, thank you so much. We look forward to learning more about this once more information is available from Samsung, so definitely keep in touch with us, and we'll be keeping in touch with Samsung as always as well. And once we do have more information about this, we'll definitely make sure to share that with you, our viewers, as well. So thank you so much. This has been a pleasure.
Hey, my pleasure, mate.
If you want to stay on top of all the latest and greatest, and or at least the gadgets we cover, remember to subscribe right here. Subscription button. Click it. You're going to want to. There's lots of videos, interviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Button. Click it.